Hello, everybody. It is me, Sacred Geed. Yes, we get the good mic. Got a new desk and everything, so that's great. But in today's video, I want to talk about my own personal that I've, observed in high school and, well, the worst friend I've actually had that I've observed. And I am going to be giving you guys my 5 signs on a bad friend. So let's get started. First thing I have is they get mad at arguments to the point of physical contact, or just getting mad at criticism. So if they're getting upset over like an argument and it's to the point where they're yelling and they're not really, this is gonna sound so kind of like a politician tactic, but like they're not refuting anything you said. They like accused you of something, but instead of actually pointing out what it is they that you did, it's more of they get mad and kind of hostile to kind of scare you, I guess, into taking their side, which is a very bullshit tactic. I remember I had a buddy, when I criticized him, actually, he got very defensive, and it was to the point where it was like he was just getting hostile, and even used violent words and stuff like that. So let's move on. Also, to add to that one, there's like no reason for you to get mad or that upset if you're in the right. Just to let you guys know, most people who are concreted in the stuff they've seen and their own opinion, they tend to be more calm and rational, and these people tend to get very, very angry. And as I said, they don't refute a single thing that they accuse you of that you countered. So also an example of that would be if they accused you of, well, let's say not stealing, but like they accused you of, talking shit or something, and you didn't, and you point out what it is you did, they tend to get very mad when you prove them wrong. So that's an example. Like, they accuse you of something, but they can't prove what they accused you of, essentially. As I briefly mentioned in the first part, they threaten or use violent words towards you when they are criticized. And that usually entails, like, you're putting down your boundaries. Like, you're saying, hey, I noticed you did this. You don't specifically have to say you don't. It should be pretty obvious that you're complaining about what they did. And they tend, like, to kind of give a good example of this is when I criticized my friend's racism. He had a very negative view of black people, unfortunately. And, and you may be asking, why were you friends with him? Well, mainly because I'm, in the voice of, you can have your own opinion as long as you don't enforce that bullshit on me. And it got to the point where he tried to do it, so I criticized him, for it, because I've been friends with him since high school, and I realized that he wasn't a great friend, and he got really mad, and I mean, to the point, bro, of where he said if I told him that and criticized him in person, he would have beaten the shit out of me. That is not a fucking friend. Okay, if they are really that upset of, taking feedback to make themselves better and to, treat others better, that's not a friend, dude. This person literally, I was friends with him for 5 years. When I cut him off, that was how long we were friends for at the time. And it was just fucking weird. Like, who fucking would get that upset to the point of saying, well, if you criticized me, pretty much, if you criticized me to my face, I would have beaten the shit out of you. Who does that? They ain't friends, bro. Never were. Also, to add to this one, they also don't fucking take criticism very well. They'll blame you for, like, if you get in a roast battle and you notice it tended to get a little personal in, the little roasting you guys did, because that's something guys tend to do sometimes. They tend to, like, blame you, and it's only you that caused the roast thing, which happened to me. Like, we roasted each other, got a little personal, he said something to me, I said something back. He blamed me for everything, even though he equally said some pretty heinous shit too. So if it ever gets to that point, that's how you kind of know. It's like, why would you blame me for everything when you've equally said some dumb shit? Like, a rational person would be like, oh, I equally did. And you'd both apologize on your own parts for what you said to each other. But if they don't do that and they just blame you and say, play the victim pretty much, and blame you for everything and that you bullied them, nah, they ain't your friends, dude. They ain't your friends. They cannot take accountability, that's for goddamn sure. And the next one, this is they dogpile. And what this essentially means, and I have a story to tell with this. I remember long ago, like, this was back I don't know if you guys remember how the internet worked on the PSP, but I would use Facebook on that. God, that brings back memories. But I remember going through going through the feed and everything, and I saw this post that this person made. She was pretty vague. I had no idea what she was who she was talking about, but it was from a girl that I've seen from school. And I remember she complained. I don't remember exactly what she complained about, but I do remember that it was something a person did. And what I saw was the people that I saw her at school hang out with come in and call her names on the post. Don't remember exactly what. Oh, no, wait. Somebody actually called her a petty bitch instead of pointing out why or how they're a petty bitch. They just call them that. And that usually happens when you criticize somebody, like if it's a group setting, you criticize somebody from the group, and then everybody gets upset and everything. At the same time, it's reasonable, but it's unreasonable to insult the person as your response because of the fact that it makes you look like a child, okay? It means that you're just jumping on this person's side without listening to the other person. Like, I don't think any of the people in that post I saw years ago even reached out to her. I have no idea. None of my business, but it didn't seem like it, considering the fact she didn't hang out with them again that I saw. You know, if that's their go-to, and I know it was a post and everything, but she was pretty vague, and I think the only people that would have known about it was the group. And, you know, it's just weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you reach out to the person first instead of making a public fool out of yourself? Like, isn't that what friends do? They reach out and, you know, when something like this happens and they talk about it and say, hey, look, I don't like what you said, that none of this is true, and they explain themselves. But if it's even not just dogpiling, it just seems like they're, you know, defending or covering up something. From what I remember, the feeling I got was that they were just covering up, you know, and it was just weird to me. It was like you didn't think to reach out first. And if nothing is talked about after the event happened, they never were your fucking friend. I don't know if that happened in this case, but that is pretty shitty to do, man. Pretty shitty to do, you know? I don't know if they reached out to her first, and she may have been a bitch about it, which is totally reasonable. At the same time, think before you act. Like, if somebody is they're venting, man. They're just posting something that they personally have a problem with, and if they're not too specific, then I don't see the problem. I mean, it's just venting. But at the same time, you know, people can act, I guess, the way they want, unfortunately. But yeah, if they dogpile you, even in person, like if you criticize, let's say, Joey for you not stepping on your shoes, but like something big, he like insulted you pretty bad, and you try to rub it off as criticism or a joke, and you confront that, and instead of actually reasoning with you, they instantly all jump on Joey's side because, well, Joey's been their friend longer, and really shows how they value you. Like, if they are not willing to hear you out and, you know, and you explain, you know, oh, well, I do apologize if Joey does, you know, seem like an asshole, but it's like, why hang around somebody like that? And for one, and for two, why do you instantly jump to his defense? Like, do you not care how I felt about that, and we could just discuss it and we could work things out like adults? But no, they don't do that. So fuck, let's move on. I do apologize for this one. This one was, wow, bringing back memories. Holy shit, remember the PSP days, dude. And the last one is that they tolerate you. I personally think it's fake, unless if it's a work setting, to put up with somebody you don't like. You do not have to do that. You don't even really need to talk to them. Just don't hang out or go to gatherings, I meant to say events, if a person you don't like is going to be there. Because it makes you look bad. Because if the person thinks they like you and they actually do enjoy your company, they're going to be honest with you. They're going to, you know, say, hey, look, I like hanging out with you and everything, so I'm going to be myself, because since, you know, when you tend to like somebody or hanging around somebody, you tend to kind of open up a little bit. Like, I just don't understand that. Like, at work, totally fine. If Steve over there is being a fucking prick every morning, I could totally see why you won't like that and have to tolerate that. I totally understand the work stuff. But when it comes to having the choice to totally not see the person ever to seeing him every day for a paycheck, which 90% of us people work for, it's a little different. And the reason I say it's different is actually because you have the choice to not see the person. Like, when you work with them, you don't have that choice. Some of the time, unless the schedules are fucked up or flipped around or whatever, you have the choice to completely not engage with the person. It just, to me, is very fake and just two-faced as fuck. Like, if you don't like somebody, tell them that. Not everybody's gonna flip out at you, you know? Like, unless they are violent and they have a history of it. But again, why hang around those people? Why even fucking have that? Why, if it is a group, why would they allow it to begin with? And if it's a one-on-one, then why did you allow it? You know, like, why don't you just tell them, hey, or just don't hang out with them? You know, you're faking an emotion, you're tolerating, you're pretending to be nice, but in reality, you don't like the person. That doesn't make any sense to me. Outside of the work stuff. It does not make a shred of fucking sense, and I just don't understand why you would tolerate somebody that you have the fucking obligation to not see ever again. Like, again, you are putting up a face because you don't like somebody, instead of distancing yourself from the person, because usually people pick up on that, and they will know that, okay, well, you know, Sally McFuckerson doesn't like me. And if they don't pick up on that and they're still trying to be your friend, then that's their problem. Again, my advice to this, if this is not a work-related setting, don't go to events where this person is invited. Talk to your friends about it too. And you can really tell how much your friends care if they listen to your concerns and your feelings. Right? Like, you don't get along with this person, you're not trying to cause stuff, but you will not be hanging out with them, you know, or going to events with that person in the group, or at that time, whatever, whenever they're actually there, again, okay? And if they listen, okay, great. They respect your fucking boundary. But if they don't, and every event you go to, they invite the person, and you've talked to them about that, then that's when it becomes a problem. And, yeah, you don't have to tolerate shit. So, I don't know why people would put up with something they don't like for that long, or for at all, period. So, sign off. Also, if it's because of, you know, oh, well, you know, Kevin's hanging out with, Randy, so if it's like, you know, you're tolerating them because they hang out with somebody, that is still fake, man. Like, you're just being friendly around them because they're friends with Kevin. And I think that is just the most bullshit thing ever, dude. Like, don't friends have hard conversations like this? Just be like, hey, Kevin, I'm sorry, I know you like Steve, but man, I don't. You just, not for me. And if Kevin respects you, you will have a hard conversation, and you will come out feeling pretty great that you explained that to him or her. Alright, all in all, be careful with who you hang out with. I know there's a lot more signs out there, like, you know, jealousy is a big sign, you know, being envious and lying to you. I would even include lying. Like, if they don't tell you that, you know, you did something that upset them, which is a bonus one, I guess, they're not your friend, dude. They're just going to hold it in, and it's going to come out in several ways, like several negative ways that will not be very good, because holding in stuff like that can make you resent a person more, specifically due to the fact you're not opening yourself up and letting it off your chest. And that can explode into murder, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's me, Sacred G. Trip down memory lane. I was just actually in the process of, before recording the outro, I was thinking of all those fucking PSP days. Being able to download Korn. Oh man, that was so easy back then. But in all seriousness, I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you for giving me a trip down memory lane. See you in the next video. Peace the fuck out. Be careful who you hang out with. Bye.